Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ATCW recap. I am your host, the golden tongue of ATCW, Evan Wade, and here to my right, as always, the Swiss Army knife, Dennis Williams. What's going on, Dennis?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Great to be back in the ATCW studio for a brand new episode of ATCW Recap. Today, we're here to talk to you about New Year's Knockout, which came to you live from the Leetown Community Center in Carneysville, West Virginia on January 18th. A star-studded event, as it always is in ATCW, and a great card put together by Chucky Manson himself. Dennis, we kicked off the night with final words with Dennis Williams. Your guests this time around, Ethan Cross and Travis Tarvin. Will you fill us in on your experience throughout your final words segment?
It was kind of interesting, actually, just the way it went down, because Ethan came out first by himself, and that was confusing. I do know that sometimes when two singles wrestlers get together as a tag team, they do come out separately, but I didn't think that was the case. I wasn't really sure, but Tarvin did come out just a minute later. I don't know, maybe he hadn't finished tying his boots yet or something. I don't know. It was interesting to note that Tarvin was in gear and Ethan Cross wasn't. That was an interesting thing to me as well. But you have two singles champions going to tag up for this event to take on the 2024 Tag Team of the Year. So I just wanted to get their thoughts a little bit individually and together about their match on that night and what both of them have in store for themselves for 2025.
Dennis, you keep knocking it out of the park with these final word segments, and I'm very glad that we get to keep doing this over and over. And I'm excited for your next segment as well.
Really grateful for that, actually, because the only feedback I've gotten on it is from Chucky. He usually tells me that I did a good job, but feedback's been a little slim. So I was kind of wondering if it was working or not. It seems to be working. You guys out there in the crowd, you guys seem to enjoy it, but I was just kind of wondering if it was working or not.
Well, it works for me, bud. I'll tell you that for sure. You know what else worked for me?
What?
The first matchup of the night for New Year's Knockout. Originally planned to be Hunter Blaze versus Robbie Wayne, but unfortunately Hunter Blaze was on the injured list due to being in you said a TLC match where he dislocated?
8-man TLC match.
8-man, wow. He dislocated his shoulder the night before, was unable to make it to the ATCW arena, but that only creates opportunity in the ATCW arena. Therefore, Killer Kylo steps up to face Robbie Wayne in our first contest. What did you think about this one?
This was a nice, fast-paced contest that started us off with a lot of athleticism. Mm-hmm. Both of these guys are very athletic. Kylo is still very young in this business. He's been doing the smart thing. He has showed up for every ATCW event. And younger wrestlers oftentimes do that just in case they might get booked. And in this case, with some inclement weather coming in, he was able to get on the show. Great performance from him. The only problem for him was he had a guy that could match his speed and athleticism who had more experience. And that was Robbie Wayne, who continues to impress every single time he steps in that ring.
Indeed, he's looking a little more swole nowadays. He's been hitting the gym. He's looking good. He's refining his game, and he's putting out some pretty banger promos as well. This time around, we actually got to see the ego trip to put away Kylo. A 1-2-3 for Robbie Wayne, and a great start to 2025. Dennis, match number 2 on the card. The leader of the Carnival of Souls, Axel Crow, going one-on-one with a newcomer all the way from Bedrock, North Carolina, Yabba Dabba.
Now, this was a nice debut for Yabba Dabba. Mm-hmm. Picked up a victory here due to distraction from the white-faced woman. But both guys have nothing to be ashamed of here. They both put in a great performance. But she came out with the bat, and now she's got a string of pearls that was around the bat. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I don't know.
It's just more mystery has continued to unravel in this story, and we continue to not get answers.
And I can't track her down.
Yeah, she just disappears. Like she's almost a phantasm. It's crazy.
Yeah, she apparates in and out of the arena, I guess. But anyway, I will give props to Axel Crow because he was able to try to hold it together here. He did not get completely distracted. Mm-hmm. He did make an attempt to refocus on the match, but the distraction was just a little too long. And Yabba Dabba, who has great ring presence, apparently, because he came to and realized what was happening, and he just laid there to draw Axel Crow in as Axel attempted the final act. And, of course, Dabba able to move out of the way. I kept calling him Dabba throughout the match because remember how I said I might stutter it?
Mm-hmm.
I just decided to stick with Dabba throughout the match. But he was able to counter that, pick up the win. Impressive debut for one Yabba Dabba.
Indeed, indeed. Looking forward to more of Yabba Dabba, hopefully, here in ATCW. Match number 3, and the only championship match on the card this night, was the ATCW Tag Team Championships. The Harm City Fight Club, Kurt Blair and Matt Wild taking on the Radical Stars, Willie and LA. Dennis, I know you were all kinds of excited about this one.
Oh, yeah. I was excited, period, because the initial opponents were going to be the Brothers in Arms, but they weren't able to make it down due to the inclement weather that was going on around West Virginia. So, but our champions, they still want to fight. And the Harm City Fight Club had showed up, and they were ready to go, so that's what we got instead. Massive props to the champions for being able to defend due to the fact that their opponents changed last minute and they had no preparation time at all. Great job with the challengers here especially. They really cut that ring off really well. And Kurt Blair making a fantastic debut here in ATCW. Kind of reminded me a bit of Johnny Gargano.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. That's a nice comparison. I like that. Yeah, these guys were putting it all on the line in this one. Definitely some bad blood between these four. I mean, later in the year, last year, the Harm City Fight Club kind of got tangled up a little bit with the Radical Stars, but we never got that 2-on-2 contest we were looking for. Blessing in disguise here, we did, and it really paid off between these four guys. In the end, as Dennis said, the Radical Stars picking up the 1-2-3 to retain their ATCW Tag Team Championships, but it did not stop there, did it, Dennis?
No, unfortunately. Harm City Fight Club did not like losing this thing, so they attacked after the match and left the Radical Stars laying flat. I always hate seeing that, you know. If you lose, man. Get over it. Motivate yourself to get better. But, yeah, it sucked. It's not the way I wanted to see it end.
Yeah, pretty much my sentiments exactly there, and I'm sure the ATCW family felt the exact same way. Dennis, you've been calling it like crazy lately, right? With this match of the night spotlight years. And you hit a grand slam this time around. The Man Monster, Tiberius Asante versus self-made Lucius Suede. Man. Former King of the 304 versus former ATCW Heavyweight Champion. These guys tore the freaking house down. And that feels like such an understatement. Dennis, how'd you feel about this one?
It was exactly how I described it would be. Two very big dudes. I mean, Lucius Wade is 6'4", Tiberius Asante is 6'7", but neither one was intimidated by the other. Tiberius Asante, for being such a big guy, has a very explosive offense, especially when the match first starts and he's fresh. Your main thing when you go in the ring against Tiberius Asante is you have to survive that initial assault, because if you don't, you have no chance at all. And Lucius, man, took that beating and came back, and it was great. I loved the way he worked, too, because he went smart. He went down for that knee, started working on it very early. I don't like the fact they chop blocked him to start it. That was kind of low, but there's the wife again. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. She always interrupts just about everything, so forgive us. But anyway, match of the night. These guys just beat the tar out of each other, and it was great. Interesting ending, because when you get big dudes like this going at it, they usually don't go to the top rope.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Lucius ascends to the second or top rope. I can't remember specifically, but he goes to deliver maybe another double axe handle that didn't work out very well. Tiberius Asante catches him full body weight and all and delivers a huge black hole slam. 1, 2, 3 for Tiberius Asante, picking up a huge victory over a former ATCW heavyweight champion. And, you know, if I didn't know any better, that may qualify him for an ATCW heavyweight championship opportunity down the line, right, Dennis?
He's got a case to make for Chucky Manson.
AK, look out, bro.
They're lining up for you, pal.
They most certainly are. Intermission for a little while. Gave us a nice little break, and it was nice. Very nice. I got to talk to a couple people that I really enjoy seeing at the ATCW arena. Good to catch up with you after being off for a little while. Match number 5 coming right back out of it. A little strange to kick us off because Adam Armstrong, not so stunning in this in this go-around, comes down to the ring with new music, by the way. Fantastic. Great choice there, Adam. Missing his normal robe that we usually see him in. He looks a little out of his element, a little disheveled and a little angry, a little red in the face, looking for his robe, asking just about everybody. The music person over there, Alex, was asking me, was asking you. Nobody had seen it. Here comes Lacey Hardy down to the ring to fill me in a little bit. I couldn't believe what she said. Here comes stunning Deuce Donatelli in Adam Armstrong's robe. And honestly, I thought those freaking guns of Deuce Donatelli were just going to rip that jacket right open, man. Dennis, what do you think about this match?
Great little mind game to start this contest, and I like the fact that Deuce decided to compete in a singles matchup. He's been away for over 1,200 days, folks, and that really takes a toll on a retired wrestler. So instead of coming back and trying to just punch the ticket and get the title, he's going to warm up. He's going to drop that ring rust. He's going to get his mind programmed back into thinking like a wrestler and really sharpen himself up before he tries to take on AK. So very brilliant move here to ask for a singles match. He got a good opponent, put in a good performance. And I was really, really happy because it was my first time calling a Deuce Donatelli match, and I was very happy to be able to do that.
An impressive showing from the golden ticket holder, Deuce Donatelli, picking up a 1-2-3 victory over Adam Armstrong. Big things to come for Deuce Donatelli at ATCW, and we haven't seen the last of him for this event, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Match number 6, Dennis, the 2024 Tag Team of the Year and the 2024 Bad Guy of the Year. Their brand new tag team name, Tremor and Austin Blackthorn, are now known as the Calamity.
Yeah, they rejected Blueberry Crunch.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Sorry about that, bud.
All right, so 2025 is the time for the Calamity to really make their mark here at ATCW and really stomp their foot down and say, we belong here too. They're obviously wanting to get to the titles. And after this performance, I think they've got a good shot at getting there. Mm-hmm. Great performance. They acted extremely well as a tag team. One thing I thought was particularly effective was they cut the ring off with Ethan Cross for a very extended period of time. And I thought that was going to be the end of that. But Ethan was able to cross separation and get to the tag. What did you think of this one, Evan? Because, you have the Calamity, who's, we thought coming into this, was still trying to pull it together as a tag team, and they ended up showing great unity here against the tag team of two singles champions tagging up.
Indeed. Actually, I liked a couple of things about this match. My first favorite thing was how Austin Blackthorn called you the hater of the year. Yeah, that was awesome. It was fun. Then he came in and thanked me for putting some good words on his name, which was actually kind of nice. My third thought, Dennis, is you mentioned unity, and I thought it was phenomenal. Their ring gear, the black, the gold, and the white, they're showing the unity not only in showing up at the same time and being a tag team and putting their promo videos together and everything. They're doing it with their ring gear too. They're going the extra mile, showing that they really do want exactly what you just said, a shot at those ATCW Tag Team Championships. This tag team is looking great. They picked up an incredible victory here by tossing Ethan Cross into the ring post and then cutting off Travis Tarvin. Unfortunately for Travis, he thought that Ethan Cross left him hanging there. A little bit of miscommunication there. The Calamity able to capitalize on that and pick up a 1-2-3 victory. Impressive defeat of two singles champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And such smart strategy throughout, going through it. Now, post matchup here, of course, when Ethan Cross finally comes to, Travis Tarvin, they're tiffing a little bit at this point because Travis doesn't understand that Ethan was taken out. He thought Ethan had abandoned him, or maybe he just thought that Ethan, I don't know, maybe he had an issue with Ethan getting taken out. I don't know. But there was some a bad moment there at the end of the match. I thought that maybe they were going to fight, but they kind of stayed separate. And, I mean, these guys are good friends. It goes back for a while. So, I mean, they'll squash it and be all right. I mean, it's not like they're going to split up at any point,
Right.
They're going to figure it out. and regroup. And I would like to see them come back and keep trying.
Yeah.
Because I think they did make a pretty good tag team.
I agree. Everybody has some miscommunication every now and then. All it takes is a quick recalibration, and I have no doubt in my mind that they will fix this and move on to become even stronger than they were before. Dennis, I think it's time to talk about the main event for New Year's Knockout. It was originally billed as the second-generation sensation Brian Hardy versus the manager of champions, Jonathan Cross. But unfortunately for Brian Hardy, he did not get his wish. But Jonathan Cross had a little something up his sleeve. He had a replacement after revealing his doctor's note from Dr. Fuddy Duddy, or whatever he called him. Comes out in a sling and says he has a replacement. It is none other than Huck Sawyer. Chucky inspects the note. He says, you know what? That's fine. You can sit out. Huck, go to the ring. But if you can pick his opponent, I get to pick the referee. And he picks none other than Owen Hardy to officiate the main event for New Year's Knockout. And a little other surprise too, Dennis.
Swerve.
That's right.
Yeah.
Deuce Donatelli joins you on commentary for this match.
Yeah, total surprise for me. Merry Christmas to me from Chucky Manson, I guess. Yeah, Deuce come down. So it was an honor to get to call one of his matches, and I get to call a match with him. And anytime I have a guest on, I do try to talk to them a little bit, ask a couple questions and stuff. But I got to find that balance between that and actually calling the match. This was a very intense matchup, very personal, even though there was that swap out. And by the way, folks, let me try to explain this to you real quick. Jonathan Cross is trying to claim that he came to the ATCW arena. He was ready to fight. Then he had some chicken, which caused him to get some kind of swelling in his elbow. Then he went to a doctor, because Dr. Fuddy Duddy apparently is on call 24/7. Got a doctor's note, and then came back to the arena all within the span of, what, an hour or two? I find that kind of hard to believe, but whatever. He'll get his in the end.
We can only hope so. Indeed.
Oh,
So
no, it happens.
yeah,
We're about to talk about it.
After about 10 minutes of an incredible contest between the two powerhouses that are Brian Hardy and Huck Sawyer, Jonathan Cross decides he's going to try to slip in some brass knucks, and that didn't exactly work out for him. So he tosses the brass knucks to Huck Sawyer, but Owen Hardy intervenes and catches them himself, only to be squished by about 500 pounds of Brian Hardy and Huck Sawyer in the corner. Owen Hardy gets knocked down. Here comes Brian Hardy to use the brass knuck. Jonathan Cross, that sounded really weird to say. Jonathan Cross coming to use those brass knucks on Brian Hardy. But Brian Hardy sees him, delivers a stunner, knocks him out, and then walks right into a huge choke slam from Huck Sawyer. Jonathan Cross recovers just in time to pull Owen Hardy's lifeless body over and make the count himself, with Owen's hand picking up and dropping for the 1-2-3. Huck Sawyer declared the winner over Brian Hardy in this contest.
Yeah, and there's debate. It is controversial because technically the referee's hand did hit the mat 3 times, but it was not under his own power. So I don't know what the solution to this situation is going to be, but they kind of took it into their own hands after the match because it didn't stop there. The shenanigans had to continue. Jonathan Cross was, all proud of himself for what he had done, and Deuce stood up and went up to the ring. He had seen enough of these shenanigans, and he was done. So he got in there and stood behind Jonathan Cross, and this was just absolutely freaking beautiful.
Indeed.
So Deuce does this sleeper hold, kind of reminiscent of a dream type hold, and locked it in real tight on Jonathan Cross. And it did take long for Jonathan Cross to start fading out either. And he was able to drop him all the way to the mat. And like I'd said on commentary, finally someone shut Jonathan Cross up.
He was still laying there when I went up to close the show. And I didn't think he was going to move for the rest of the night. A great ending, and unfortunately we got some kind of sad news at the end as well. So the Hardys, all of the Hardys, and Adam Armstrong included, their contracts have come up in ATCW, and unfortunately they are not going to renew their contracts with us. They're off into some other endeavors, we shall say. Hopefully they will find everything they're looking for, and the best of luck to all of the Hardy clan and all of the members of the Hardy family. We appreciate everything that you've done for us in the past year and a half, and it's been an absolute honor and a pleasure to call you guys champion. Brian Hardy specifically, ATCW heavyweight champion, really carried that. Really carried that championship with a lot of pride, and we really appreciate everything that the Hardys have done. So from the bottom of my heart, personally, just want to say thank you to everyone in the Hardy family. You guys will be sorely missed, and hopefully our paths will cross sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you never know. There are people that still to this day come into ATCW that I never thought I'd get to work with again. Deuce Donatelli.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Good example of that. So you never know. This business is crazy, and you try to seek opportunities elsewhere sometimes, especially if things become kind of stagnant for you or frustrating for you, and it's time to change up things. I'm going to miss the Hardys a lot, all of them, every single one of them. I got to meet them all and had a great time working with all of them. Ariel, thank you for doing the roving cam for us. You did a tremendous job for that, for the events you did it. Lacey took over for you there for one. Alex Hardy, covering us on music for the last few shows, did a fantastic job there. Going to miss the Hardys a lot, man.
Indeed. Shout out to LC Ortiz over there on commentary. We're on commentary for Lord. Oh my gosh. So many Hardys, hard to keep track of. She's over there on Timekeeper along with Alex. Thank you so much for everything you guys did for us. You're phenomenal, and you will be sorely missed. Dennis, is there anything else about New Year's Knockout that you'd like to talk about before we get out of here?
Just a quick thank you for the guys, for the folks that did show up, that were able to show up due to the inclement weather. We really appreciate you all coming out.
Indeed, and somehow ATCW was able to pull off an event in January. It was a pleasant surprise, and I'm very grateful for that as well.
You never know about January, folks.
You don't. You don't. It's a treacherous time. Folks, we're going to get out of here. Check us out on the Facebook page, on the YouTube page. The matches from ATCW New Year's Knockout should be up soon on the pages. Give us a like and subscribe if you can. Give us a share down here in this corner or that corner, one of these corners. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. We're going to get out of here nonetheless. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to talk about ATCW Live for February 18th at the Leetown Community Center in Carneysville, West Virginia. Until then, see you later.